Hi there, I'm Jack Reeder with Future Pastimes. I'm one of the designers for the expansions to the Dune board game. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about power alliances. So I'm going to look at different alliances in Dune and which ones are really strong and why. This one I'm going to call the Weirding Way Alliance because it is between Atreides and Bene Gesserit. And it is a pretty powerful combination, considered by many to be the most powerful alliance in the game. Some call it the Toxic Alliance, although that term can be applied to a lot of the alliances. So I'm going to stick with Weirding Way on this one. Let's talk about what the different alliance abilities are for these two factions and why it is such a potent combination. So starting with the Atreides, their alliance ability is that their ally gets use of the Atreides battle advantage. And the Atreides battle advantage is they're using prescience to see one part of their opponent's battle plan. So either the weapon that they're going to play, the defense they're going to play, the leader that they're going to have in their battle, or the number that they're dialing, their force strength in that battle. And having that information while Atreides is making their battle plan is pretty valuable. You know that if you have a couple of types of defenses, you can ask about the weapon so that you know which defense to use and thereby protect your leader. And conversely, if you have, a projectile weapon and a poison weapon, you can ask about the defense so that you can get past that defense using the other type of weapon. And sometimes what you do want to know is the number dialed or the leader that's going to be in the battle so that you can pre-calculate the math and know what it is you need to dial or which leader you need to play if, for instance, you can't get around the weapon and defense issue. So at least you know what it's going to take for you to win. So on its own, the Atreides battle advantage is a very strong advantage in the game. And when you are Atreides' ally, having access to them using that same advantage is very, very powerful. Now, the Bene Gesserit, their alliance ability is that their ally has use of the voice. Now, the voice is where the Bene Gesserit force a player to play or not play a certain card in their battle plan. So you must play a projectile weapon, or you may not play a poison defense. So you can probably imagine how combining these two effects becomes really powerful. So the order of operations for Classic Dune is that prescience must be done before, voice must be done before prescience. So in that battle plan, knowing what weapons or defenses you have as Atreides, you can appropriately employ the voice to say, you may not play a poison defense. And then you can ask them about what weapon they're going to play so that you can prepare your own defense. And obviously, the ideal circumstances are that you have the perfect hand of two types of weapons, two types of defenses. That's the greatest situation to be in. But even if you don't have that, it's still very powerful. You can use the voice to either pretty much guarantee that you can either kill the opposing leader or protect your leader. And then knowing some of the other information can help you to finesse your battle plan. So if you have voiced your opponent to not play a specific type of weapon, or to do the reverse, force them to play a weapon that you know that you have the defense for, then you can think about, all right, what is it that I need to dial? And maybe that you're asking about the leader or their number dialed, knowing what their highest value leader is and working around it that way. So again, even if you don't have the perfect hand, just having a weapon or a defense with this combination can still be very powerful. And you're going to be well informed going in there. You're going to have certain protections or guarantees. And so this combination can work very effectively. And when you add that in to other effects like the ability in Advanced for Atreides to eventually acquire the Kwisatz Haderach so that they know that they not only have that +2, but when they employ the Kwisatz in a battle, that leader cannot be a traitor. So that helps out with the Atreides side of things. And on the Bene Gesserit side, especially in advanced, they've got the ability to flip to spiritual advisors so that they can avoid fights when they need to. But they're also advising all the factions into their other strongholds, slowly building up their strength. And by the time an alliance occurs, Bene Gesserit may have a number of forces already on the surface of the planet, ready to strike and flip, so that they've got the double alliance advantage there for their battles. It makes it very hard for them to lose, especially because all of the Bene Gesserit leaders are strength 5, so they're very powerful. The one drawback of this alliance is that they don't really have an income. In advance, the Bene Gesserit get their 2 spice chum charity, whether they need it or not, and that's nice. Don't knock 2 spice. It sometimes that's the difference that it makes, but it's not really a significant income. It's not an economic faction. So these are 2 factions that struggle to get spice, and that is about the only balancing element for this alliance. So other factions in the game, they have to make sure that they go after spice blows and try to avoid getting into battles with them. And that, in terms of going after spice, if you've got a decent hand of cards, you know that you've got a weapon and a defense, and you can work around that using the voice and prescience combination. What this alliance needs to do is, if they're not going for the win, they need to go after spice. Because even if they don't have enough forces left over to collect a lot of spice, they can usually get in a situation where they are killing opposing leaders and getting the spice income from that. So they've got some recourse there in terms of going after the spice that they need. The temptation is, once this alliance forms, is like, let's go for it. Let's go for the win. But you may want to wait a couple of turns so that you can use prescience in the bidding phase to help the Bene Gesserit to pick up some useful cards, especially in advance. It lets them know, hey, here's a worthless card. We can probably get that for a couple of spice, especially if I just tell everybody, this is a worthless card. So if you want to bid a lot to prevent Bene Gesserit from getting a cheap Karama, then go for it. And that's good too, getting people to overspend on a worthless card. It has its benefits. But really what you're trying to do is position it so that you both have got access to weapons and defenses, so that you can employ the voice and prescience very effectively, cut out the other players from being able to earn spice and win battles and hold those territories. So that's it. Let me know what you think of this alliance. How often do you have a game where the Atreides and Bene Gesserit, do they just default like, all right, yeah, let's do it. It's the classic alliance. Let's get together and use this. Or have you seen players make the case for not having Atreides ally with Bene Gesserit? Or let me know circumstances where you effectively use this and you just battered the other players into submission. I certainly love hearing about that. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.